Hey there, Natalie here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, I'm going to show off a template that we made we're going to show the template off real quick, but we made it over way too many hours. Anyway, so what we've got for you is we've got Slider as a template for Questmaster. And in case you don't know what Slider is the song that plays for Mario 64 when you're going down the slides. And that's used very often to indicate that a player is now in an anti-soft lock in Mario Maker tutorial levels. So we wanted to bring that same sort of DNA over to Questmaster, and we made it so you can just drop a template into your level, and it'll play Slider, pretty good version of it, we do say so ourselves. In fact, we have to make sure that we give credit to Neptunius. He's one of our sons. He did most of the work on transliterating or whatever the music over from some sheet music into the Questmaster little buttons with the letters and stuff. So we're going to show you how to use this, and feel free to use it in your level. There's two things or so that you need to know. One, remember that typically in Mario Maker, this song means anti-soft lock. So it tells the player it's time to try to find a way to die. And if that's not what you're using it for, which, hey, we didn't use it just for that ourselves, so can't blame you, that it may cause some confusion. At the same time, what an anti-soft lock is in Questmaster is really not determined yet. So maybe it's just, hey, we're ready to have a goofy little time, have fun. I'm not too sure. But it's here to try and make fun or have fun of a situation that you've put someone in a troll level. We used it in one of our troll levels when we dropped them into a soft lock itself that does allow them to kill themselves. It's just a quick way of saying, you've been soft locked, time to die. And making it a little bit more silly and fun than just like a bomb exploding or something. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you. Oh wait, I said there were two things. So the second thing is that the template's quite big because it's very detailed, and it can have problems working correctly on machines that are either older or just lower powered. So the Steam Deck, for instance, does kind of struggle with this. We did what we could to try and make it work, despite some weird glitchy hiccup stuff. And we've optimized it, I think, just about as much as we can manage to optimize it with the tools that we've got. But yeah, it still might be a problem on lower end machines. However, Julian did say that he's got at least a minor improvement to help optimize it, and that maybe that'll make a difference. Maybe it'll make a big difference. I'm not sure. I'm not sure when he's going to be releasing that though. There's never really a direct. Here is when we've got this this bug worked out and when it's going to be released. That's all very complicated as to when it can be intertwined into the overall release schedule for the game. So I'm sure we'll have it at some point, and hopefully it makes this even better. But if someone's got a relatively modern machine, it should play fine, and it shouldn't hiccup unless you make the room take a whole bunch more processing power. So if you try to fill the room up that Slider's in with a lot of other stuff, it's going to be a big problem. Yeah, so, and then the third thing, I know we only said two, but the third thing is that we used up most of the shapes in setting up Slider, which means that your anti-soft lock room can't use a lot of shapes in it unless you rejigger our setup here. I mean, feel free to, move the parts of the template around if you can figure out how to make it so that it plays with less shape costs. I'm sure there's several ways to do it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and play Slider just as a song first, and actually let's play the level version of it. So we made a level, and then we also templated it. The templated version is a little bit more optimized for just playing music, while the level has a little bit going on so that the player can see what's happening as it's playing. The other cool thing with the level is that the level makes use of a find that Sluggy found, which is that we can use the goal gem. I'm gonna call it the goal gem. I'm not sure if that's really what it's called, but we can use that to silence the music by killing all of the monsters in the room that has the gold gem in it. And so we immediately kill all the monsters in the room when we fall down this hole, and that will play first the fanfare that's like, "Ew, you won, you beated all the monsters, good job, you should get the crystal now," or gem, or whatever it's called. It's gonna play that, and then it'll play Slider with all the other music shut off, because after that fanfare plays, the music in game will get cut off, and then it will not turn back on until the player gets the gem. So that was a really cool thing that they found, and we'll be able to have music playing without that, without the rest of the music playing, right? We'll have our music without the other music, which anyone who's doing a music level should totally do this setup now, because yeah, you can cut off the music for the player. Neat, huh? All right, let's do it. Just head down the hole, the silly hole. And you can see we've got over there, our shell is working as a timer. It also worked as the thing that got killed. And it starts us up. So you can see we have it set up so that as the player goes through, they get to see what's happening down here, and then they get killed. And then they get respawned, because it's an ante, right? You're trying to die, but you can't. And then it gets respawned in each of the following tracks. And we'll explain why we have it and split in all these tracks once this runs through just fine. It's the whole song, too. And you may have noticed it started replaying the track. That's because it's set up so that it will continuously loop, and it loops at the correct place. So let's take a look at how to put it in as a template, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the template in case you want to rejigger it somehow. Okay, I'm just creating any random level setup. And so what you'll want to do is go to templates. You're going to come up here to the little world icon, click on that. And then you're going to type in the name or ID up here. And this is a search box. You're going to type Slider, enter. And you're going to grab Slider version 1.1 unless we release a newer one and you want to use the newer one. Well, we won't erase this one once because we assume people may use it and may need to reuse it. So let's go ahead. We're going to click on it. We're going to click the little clipboard icon to paste it. And it says pasting blueprint. That really means it's downloading it, I think. It's kind of big. It should eventually end up in our clipboard and into the game. And you can see this is big. My game is lagging just from dragging it around. But you want to put it near wherever it is that you want it to be played. So I'm going to put it like here. There. All right, so now it is in here. We're functional. We're moving smooth again. It's all set up. The only thing is, this room is not connected. So if we start this up, no Slider. Okay. But if we connect it to that room in any way, now it's all part of the same room. In fact, let's connect it differently. We're going to do that. Okay. And so now it's all part of the same room, even though you can't get to the Slider mechanics of it with this setup. And it should start playing Slider, but it won't play it right away, because it is set up with this timer. So what I'm going to do is set this timer to kind of instant go mode. The easiest way to do that would be to just delete this, okay? Or you can come and pre-light this torch and erase this, like that. That'll make it instant. And then you don't even need this shell and bomb and track and button. Okay? All of this right here is just to set it up to wait till the fanfare ends if you're doing the killing. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it with the gem is in the room. Let's kill things. So where's our gem? All right, we don't have a gem. You can hear the normal music's playing, and it's going to play Slider over top it in just a couple seconds in theory. I heard the thingy. There it goes. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and drop the gold gem, whatever it's called, gold crystal pyramid. We're going to drop it in here. And it can be anywhere in your room, so long as your room's connected to that up there. If you want the music in game to get cut off, you only need the gold gem in the same room as Slider if you want to cut off the in-game music. Got it? Got it. Good. So now, there's our fanfare. Just because we have the gem in here, whatever it's called. And now we'll play without any other music. You probably don't want to use it like that if what you're doing is just using Slider as an anti-soft lock. So we're going to get rid of this. We're going to set it up for immediate play. You could trigger it on something if you want. You know, just use pink X. You really don't want the pink X to stay on though. It should just toggle. This setup right here is the pink X is a button. Under it is a trap door, and when the pink button gets pushed, the trap door opens. So whatever falls onto it immediately goes away, meaning the button just gets pushed for a second and then it's done. Because we only want it to do one shot of the fireball, or you're gonna screw something up later. Trust me. Okay, but yeah, let's go ahead and set it up for instant play. And get rid of all this. There we go. And if you're wanting to maybe further optimize this, you can get rid of like all these numbers. These are just to show the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the song. Each one of those is a measure. I think that's what they're called. We don't really know music. But yeah, you can see the music mapping in here if you want to mess with any of that. Okay, so now if we hit start, we should just get music right away. I think we forgot something. I think what we forgot is that these are set to trigger based on something dying. So instead, we're going to take one of these. Sorry, you do have to do this step once too. All right, we're getting a Mimic, and we're going to put them to replace those spawners. So those spawners will work if you're wanting all monsters in the room killed starting up the song, but that's not what I'm trying to set up. I'm setting it up instant play. All right, now it'll play. There you go. You can hear it's going over the game music though, but it's pretty loud. You can barely hear the game music. So you decide what you want to do with that. All right, one other thing that we should show you is a quick explanation of how it functions in case you want to, rearrange things or whatever, okay? You can work with it however you want. All right, so the way it works is we've got a line of mimics. These mimics are blown in the wind and they slide over the buttons, the music buttons. As they slide over them, the buttons get pushed. They all slide, lined up perfectly. And for whatever reason, unlike tracks, the wind keeps its pace really accurately, so the music will stay at the appropriate pace and keep working correctly. Over here on the side, these are what are blowing it, but it's not only these. To get the right speed for this song, and you can use this for other music, the setup for other music, and change this to be appropriate for your song. But for this song, we need a pretty high speed, and so what we found works for this song, you just got to kind of play with the combinations, is 4 speed fans here, not 4 of them, but fans at speed 4, and then on the opposite side we've got suction fans at speed 2. And That gives us a total of 6, except I don't think that this is like a linear progression. I think it's probably a curve as far as the speed works. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing, but that's the right speed. And you can see that if we just take like these fans and we change their speed, let's say to 3, just 1 faster, the song will play significantly faster. And that's probably too fast. And of course you need to adjust all the fans on the left to be the same speed, and all the fans on the right should be the same speed as themselves on the right, okay? Alright, so those slide across. We'll get back to this bit in a second. Oh, you can, oops. You can get rid of these pots and bushes. These are here to make a sort of cymbal crash sound in the single player slider level. If the player is not near these, you won't hear them. Like the player won't hear them, so there's no need for them. Let's look at the end of the track. So what happens at the end of the track is we get this final note in the track. It outputs a cymbal momentarily. That cymbal is red, which will pop up this. That stops this Mimic in its tracks sitting on the A button. Okay? This requires all reds to be pressed, not just the one. And we do that to try and make sure that the Mimic is on the button long enough to trigger the spawning of the next row of Mimics. Once those Mimics spawn, they go across. We repeat the same process. Get to the end of this, we're going to get to the next symbol, and so on and so forth. Alright, now if we come down here, you'll see we have all these torches. These keep track of which ones of those tracks at the top are on at a time. Can you even hear me over this music? I think so. It's loud though. And you'll see as it plays, it's gonna go down 2 at a time. Okay. So these don't just keep track of which ones are running, these choose which ones are running. All right, it's important that the fans are all set to ORs. So long as either the torch is running or the button has been pushed, the fans will be on. However, these posts have to happen when only both are active. That makes it so that as soon as it hits this, the track gets shut down, okay? And the track getting shut down will then result in it only being on for the 1 moment, because the torch will go out, and so we'll only have 1 symbol active, and that will make our pillar drop down, which will then release and kill that Mimic, okay? So it's on long enough to activate stuff. We're making sure of that. Additionally, the Mimics need to only happen when both the torch and the button are depressed, because we only want to create 1 Mimic, and it seems like maybe you have to push and release the button before the Mimic gets created. I'm not entirely clear about that. It's very confusing, because when this fails, what fails to happen is the Mimics don't get spawned. And that has something to do with the CPU trying to process between frames when frames are getting skipped. I don't really know the details of why it doesn't work when it doesn't work, but we're trying to make it better. You can let me know if you come up with a better way. So yeah, this is using a lot of color switches or shape switches and whatnot to be able to make all of this happen. Why do we have it cut like this instead of 1 long track? Well, the game really does not like long tracks of wind. If I had all of these sections running at the same time, the game would get really slow. And on some people's PCs or on the Steam Deck, it would be like 1 frame per second, which is unplayable. And the thing would not be able to repeat itself because it will be broken. Yeah, so it's the same story if you put them all in 1 line. That's just the exact same amount of space being calculated for the same number, essentially the same number of active fans at a time. So instead, we only keep 2 tracks running at a time. Oh, yeah, over here. We'll do this hand. 2 tracks running at a time, and then the next 2 tracks, and then the next 2 tracks, and then so on. Okay? And that reduces the amount that the game's having to calculate for these wind traces, because it's having to do essentially a kind of ray tracing across here to see what gets pushed the whole time for this entire area, which is pretty big. So it's possible we can optimize this a little bit more because we have more space. This is currently, as of required space, it's about 100, because you can probably knock off a few between each one of these. We can go up to 200. So you could actually slice this into smaller slices, which would optimize it further. The problem with that is the amount of optimization goes down with each slice you make. The amount of complication of building this goes up with each slice you make. And with this current setup, we need a color or a shape switch for every single track. And I'm using up all but like 2 of them already. So we can only have so many. Again, if you come up with a better way to like control the system so we can have smaller areas and flip from one to the next, so it's only got a, an area active at a time, smaller area active at a time, reach out to me. I'd love to see a better setup. I'm sure there's a better setup in some form or another here. But yeah, I think that tells you everything you need to know about how this works, so you can mess around with it if you want, and how to just quickly and easily drop the template into your level and use it. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this is helpful for anybody who wants to use Slider in their level, and I hope you have fun and create great levels and enjoy Questmaster and enjoy your day. Thanks so much for watching. I guess like and subscribe or whatever. Oh, go check us out on Twitch. We're streaming a lot this year. It's twitch.tv/Natalie_com. Okay? We'll see you there. Bye-bye.